In this pod, we're going to look at giving and asking for directions. We'll learn about a special formal imperative or command form of certain verbs. This could be incredibly useful if you find yourself lost in a Spanish-speaking place.
Before we begin, let's look at some key vocabulary. We have
Cruzar, meaning to cross. A la izquierda, meaning to the left. A la derecha, meaning to the right. Detrás de, meaning behind. Delante de, meaning in front of. En la esquina, meaning on the corner. And al final de, meaning at the end of.
when given directions, it's important to be polite. Nowadays, the formal form of you, or usted, is more widely used in Latin America than it is in Spain, but it is still important. Now, let's say we asked Mateo, Perdón, ¿me puede ayudar por favor? ¿Dónde está el cine? This means, excuse me, can you help me please? Where is the cinema? Note that the verb estar is being used to mean to be. Estar is always used to describe where things are.
Tome usted la primera calle a la derecha. Pase la iglesia. Camine hasta la piscina y siga las señales. Siga todo recto. Está enfrente del museo.
Notice that when you give instructions or commands, you add a different ending to the verb from the present tense. For example, in tome usted la primera calle a la derecha, the verb tome is the imperative form of tomar, which is an ar verb. Pase is another example. It's the imperative form of pasar. Seguir has become siga, and caminar has become camine.
These words form part of what is known as the present subjunctive, which we'll learn about in another pod. It's worth remembering that there are some irregular verbs that you will have to remember the imperative forms for. Dar, haber, ser, saber, and ir, which become de, haya, sea, sepa, and vaya, respectively.
Let's get back to Mateo's answer. He replied quite simply with,
Take the first street on the right, go past the church, walk as far as the swimming pool, and follow the signs. Continue straight on. It's opposite the museum.
It's worth mentioning that enfrente de, which means opposite, literally translates as in front of. It's also worth noting that the mention of la primera calle, the first street, is the first time we've seen ordinal numbers used in this way. There are other ordinal numbers, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and so on, which are useful for directions. They must all agree with their noun. Looking at the first five, we have
Primero or primera, meaning first. Segundo or segunda, meaning second. Tercero or tercera, meaning third. Cuarto or cuarta, meaning fourth. And quinto or quinta, meaning fifth.
So to recap, if you want to be more formal with complete strangers or older people, you should use the third person ending of the relevant verb. This will mean you are using usted, whether or not you choose to say the word itself.